Hi, welcome to Steve's Retro Loft. Today it's another box opening episode. This one, mainly Spectrum cassettes, normal size cassettes, and the box says mostly budgets, so be interested in finding out what's in there. I'm interested in the stuff that's not budget, but we'll wait and see. I might have some budget gems, but you know, from memory I don't recall many, but yeah, we'll get the box open in a minute and see what we can find. Right, here's the box, and your trusty penknife out. Might be a long episode. This is actually 2 layers of games to go through. Yeah, not really taking too much care over that one, but it's only a bag. Right, so let's have a look what we've got. Some loose cassettes, Scrabble, dodgy copy of Ghostbusters, Crash demo tape from July 1989. Interesting. Ow. Jackal and Wide. Yep. Never heard of it. Soft Aid. Yeah, there's a few. Obviously, the charity game collection. Yeah, some stuff in there which is yeah, interesting. Go for the ones that don't look like they've got inlays. Oh, Enigma Force. Again, not a game I'm familiar with. Caterpillar, 16k game. Okay, I don't see many of those. Oh, another Beyond game. Cytron. Yeah. I can't remember if we've actually had a collection of Beyond games in one of the other boxes. There's the one. Sword on Shadow. Yeah, quite a lot of Beyond games I don't really recall. Oh, Bomb Jack. Yet another Lords of Midnight. Trashman. Oh yes. Pity I haven't got a box, the cover for that, but yeah, classic game. Yeah, these are the Sinclair branded games that came with the +2, I believe. I always discounted them because I absolutely hated the font on the side. They always look cheap and nasty compared to the Sinclair silver labels. But I might have a look at one of these. Some people actually quite like some of these games, believe it or not, so I might have a look at those. Yeah, Sword Slayer. Yeah, some instantly forgettable games here. Daley Thompson's Decathlon. Yes, classic game if you want to destroy a keyboard or joystick. Gremlin game, Sam Stokes. It's quite an old Gremlin game, that, because I'm sure they used to have fairly decent packaging. Maybe as the Spectrum got towards the end of its operational life in terms of games releases, they may have decided to go down the cheap route. Summer Games. Another sporty one. Oriental Hero. Yep. Alcatraz Harry. And Demon's Revenge. Again, a lot of these games are new to me. I mean, I would have saw them back in the day when I picked all this stuff up, but again, they don't really have any memories for me. Ghost Hunters. Feud, Fortress, oh, for the BBC. That's quite bizarre. I don't recall owning a BBC game before. Might come in handy for the future, you never know. So, Espionage Island, I'm guessing that was the same as one of those. Oh no, I thought it was one of the Sinclair games. I've got a feeling this might have been a Sinclair branded game at some point, whether it was the silver top or whether it's the cheaper ones, I'm not sure. Invincible Island, 3D Haunted Hedges, oh yes. Mission Jupiter, no. Right, okay, yeah, that's a number of them falling on the floor, but we'll ignore that. Hopefully it was nothing good. Let's have a look and see what we've got now in this second part of the box. Lap of the Gods, yep. Sea of Zune, no, never heard of them. SOS, yep. Kickstart 2. Now, Kickstart 1, was that? Not sure if it's a game like Wheelie or not, but yeah. Soviet Fighter. Interesting, some sort of 3D. I forgot what the Sega arcade game was. Similar sort of graphics. Probably a sort of, not rip off, but a copy of that. Fusion, for the Amstrad as well. Bonus. Dizzy. Yep. Delightfully titled Scumball. It's a double pack with SWAT. 2 games I've never heard of. Ultimo Ratio. Dizzy again. Agent X does ring a bell. Flash Gordon. I wonder if that was around about the same time as the film. I think the film was early 80s, this was 86, so possibly not. Joe Blade. Sure that was an Ocean game. Grand Prix Simulator. By somebody called Johnny Dumfries. I don't know if there's a Grand Prix racer or not. Digitised voice synthesis. Ooh, guess that might be for the 128 only. Custard's Quest. Yeah. Magic Carpets. Another Formula 1 simulator. Cantilla. Hyperbole. Space Hunter. Yeah. More work might be cut out to try and find something decent out of this lot. Oh, Way of the Exploding Fist. I think originally a Melbourne House game. Yeah, it was. Do you remember that? Maybe that's one. Back to the Future. Film tie-in. Wonderful. Can't remember it. Phantomos. Yep. Caves of Doom. Video Olympics. Yeah. I'm not sure, it's got the word Olympics in the title. I'm not sure if they ever had any issues with copyright with the Olympic federations and whatever. All-terrain vehicle simulator. And your last book bunch, Alpine games. I do remember the winter games on the Commodore 64. That was quite good. Don't remember that one. Willow Pattern. Yeah. Kobayashi, no. Professional ski simulator. Oh, graphic looks quite nice on that. And milk race. Oh, a cycling simulator. Yeah. Oh well, as you can see, I've got a collection of the games to go through. Possibly I might find some. We'll wait and see. Join me again in a bit. First up to try, it's the game with no inlay. It's Trashman. The interesting thing about Trashman is the screen, the actual loading screen, is an image of the game, so you actually get to see what the game looks like before you've even loaded it. The graphics look quite basic, but yeah, so it was quite a nice little game for its time. Very, very simple premise. I think you just collected rubbish, that's about it, and I think dogs chased you from various gardens and things like that. Shows the time, obviously, because the bin men don't bother coming to your house anymore. You have to leave your wheelie bin at the side of the curb. Hopefully it'll load. I've no idea what the keys are, but I'll see what I can figure out. See you in a bit. That's a nice sight to see, a loading game. Right, as I said before, I don't have the instructions. The keyboard, cursor keys, and probably the 0 to fire should be fairly easy to work out. Cool. Oh, hello, keyboard. Trashman required, must be able to be nimble-footed and hold his drink. Not sure what happened there. Whoop. Went in for a tip, and yeah, it's yeah, interesting. Not sure what happened in that at that moment in time. Right, this should be my 5th bin. Okay, yeah, it's quite a tricky game. Yeah, I didn't realise how precise you had to be. But yeah, it's interesting to see. It might be one I could fire up on the emulator again. But there you go. I'll try one of the 16K games now. Caterpillar. I'm guessing this is going to be almost probably like Snake on the old Nokia phones. But I'll give that a try and see you in a bit. Quite unusual for the type of game, and most games will load quote quote. This one's load quote quote code. As you can see, this one's loading the game straight into memory. So maybe that might have been a sort of because it's a 16K game, it might have been a little bit short on memory. But that's it. If I was that worried about it, not sure why there was a big loading screen. But there you go. It started. So be interested to see how it carries on. As you can see, Caterpillar's a very simple game, so just, I'm not sure, actually yes, I have to shoot the caterpillar, that's what it is. Seems to be a combination of Snake and Space Invaders, which is interesting. Oh, well, there you go. Never played Centipede before. It's yeah, there's a lot it packs in, and it's 1 minute it takes to load the game. But there you go. I'll try Espionage Island next. It's probably a text-based adventure, so it might not work so good on video. But I'll see what happens. So looking at time for Espionage Island, which is Adventure D in a by a series of 4 games. Again, it's another one that you need to load as low quote unquote code. But yeah, it's unusual. Years of owning Spectrums, and in my youth, I don't remember too many games requesting that type of load. But there you go. This was quite an early release on the Spectrum. I think it was around about 1983. The tape might tell me, but it's in the cassette cassette player at the moment. Not sure what you do with the game. I'm not sure how playable it is on video, but we'll see and see what happens, assuming it loads. Now, the game did start. but it still seemed to be loading as it finished, as the game actually stopped, as the game came up. So be interesting to see what happens. It might only work for a short amount of time, but we'll see. Anyway, you've been sent on a reconnaissance mission to observe an enemy island somewhere hidden on the island. It's a secret. Your mission is to observe the island. However, one of your engines is blah 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 blah. Okay, want to restore game? No. Okay. Open. Oops. Door. No doubt I'll alert guards and get shot in the head or something. Yes. Okay. No. Move. Parachute. Okay, so we got to do search. Text-based adventures, it helped if you could spell or type. Open door then. Blah 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 blah. Oh, okay. There you go, Espionage Island. Yeah, I'm sure if I've read it in greater details, I might not have died in such a spectacular way. Anyway, I'll give Haunted Hedges a try now. It's another 16 to 48k game, so it should be quite a quick loader. Minimal cover. Yeah. That actually looks like a photocopy. Yeah, that cover does look terrible. But anyway, I'll give that a try and see what happens. Here it goes. A quick look at Haunted Hedges. I've changed the keys to obviously the only set of keys that you should be using. QA, OP. No file on this one. So yeah, from looking at the game, yeah, it's Pac-Man, isn't it? Really, but they couldn't call it that. It's a sort of 3D, slightly isometric maze with ghosts. Yeah, I've read the sort of blurb on the inside, and it is really just Pac-Man. Yeah, but that is like, yeah, I guess they didn't want to get sued by Namco, was it? I believe. Anyway, start the game. The 3D nature of the sort of main characters reminds me a little bit of Attack of the Pesky Robots, which is something that the 8-bit guy has been producing for the various any Commodore platform known to man. Oh. There you go. Yeah, quite a little playable little sort of Pac-Man game. But yeah, there we go. I've said there you go too many times, but there you go. Anyway, time to have a look at Formula 1 Simulator now. The graphics look quite basic. It's very, very reminiscent of the Scion Formula 1 game. So 1995, what was that? Checkered Flag, I believe that was called. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how this plays. Although actually, unlike the Scion version, this actually does have cars you can overtake. Obviously, that wouldn't be realistic now because the wheels don't come off on cars. Yeah, right. Anyway, I'll give this one a blast and see if it's as enjoyable as F1 2020 on the Xbox. You can see quite a few options for the joysticks here, and a steering wheel. And looking at the instructions, the steering wheel is use a sellotape tin or similar object about 4.5 inches in diameter and 1 inch deep. Hold it at the top, so the top position at the centre of the top row of keys, so it nestles against the ridge at the back. Obviously written before the plus was out, I think. And roll it left or right to moderate pressure to steer. To begin with, a rocking motion on the wheel may help you get the feel of the car. So there you go, you can use a sort of sellotape steering wheel and destroy your Spectrum. Okay, keyboard it is. No. Yeah, I think that's as good as that game's going to get. Right, so I'll have a look at Grand Prix Simulator, which is Codemasters, and Codemasters did still make the actual F1 GP games now. So be interesting to see how it all started. So this is Codemasters' take on a Grand Prix Simulator screen loader. Interesting, got all the sparks coming up from the bottom there. Still the graining on the Pirelli tyres, as you can see. And yeah, quite a nice screensaver actually, or screen loader, sorry. The game itself obviously looks a lot different. It reminds me of, I can't remember the game on the Amiga, was it something like Micro Machines or something like that? And the original I'm sure the original Grand Theft Auto was this sort of top-down sort of playable game. There you go, we'll have a look and hopefully if it loads, see what it does. Bother. I'll try again. It was clicking a bit towards the end of the tape, so maybe the tape stiffened up a little bit. But yeah, well, take two. Hey, successfully loaded. So, not sure if this is just a two-player game only, so I'll one player. Oh. I suppose I should try braking really at some point. So yeah, that was Grand Prix Simulator, the first attempt from Codemasters from their franchise, which went on for good 20 odd, maybe 25 years or so, probably even longer than that. So it's nice to see where it possibly all started from. Next up is Alien Destroyer. It's a game I probably discounted because of the sort of poor quality, look cheap Sinclair or Amstrad packaging that came with the Plus 2. But yeah, I may be disappointed. I know some people quite like some of the games that come with it, but this will be the first for me because I don't think I've ever loaded this game before. So we'll wait and see what happens. I could be disappointed, but you never know. I might be pleasantly surprised. It's loaded without error. There's absolutely no instructions whatsoever in the game. Just tells you how to load it and then just free to start it. I don't even know what the keyboard layout is. Left and right and Q, I think. So it looks like a sort of Space Invaders clone. It not every bit as nasty as it looks. I mean, it flickers a lot, which isn't great. It's nice it's got a sort of Galaxian style one that dives out. Sprites only have a sort of set movement as well. It's some as if that one can only go as far as there and that one can only go as far as there. So when you start destroying them on the one side, they tend not to scroll across the entire screen. Oh. Yeah, I think that's, you can see why it was a free game. Right, next up, it's a Ricochet version of Way the Exploding Fist. It's a Melbourne House game. Yeah, it's a karate type beat 'em up. Yeah, it looks good quality. I'll see what it does. Hopefully it'll load, because I do remember the game. You know, though I can't remember too much about it. I do remember the title and do remember playing it. But yeah, we'll see what it does. I see they didn't butcher the loading screen in any way whatsoever, which is quite good. It's quite true to the original from what I can remember. Right, the game's loaded. It's quite a bit more complex than I remember, actually. I can't remember if I played it on this Commodore 64, and it might have been a bit easier with the joystick. But effectively the controls are this bank of sort of 8 keys and that fire button. So the idea is a lot of the different controls on the outside edge, so there's quite a lot to take in. So give it a try and see what happens. There you go. It's interesting. Must admit, I do quite graphically. I like the backdrop. It actually almost looks like a Commodore 64 game with the colours in the background and the level of detail. It was quite good. It's very well controlled, because obviously we know the Spectrum graphics were quite blocky, and you got a tribute clash because of you could only have 2 colours on the in the same block at the same time. Although, you know, some sort of clever programmers figured out how to do it later on, but it was always a bit of a struggle. But yeah, overall it's been quite good. So yeah, quite pleased I've managed to play that. But yeah, that's the last one. So brilliant, and they've all loaded, which is always good. And considering most of these are cheap games, yeah, I only had one problem with Grand Prix. I think Grand Prix Simulator not loading. Everything else loaded. There's a couple of them that had quite stiff tapes, but yeah, on the whole, it's quite impressed. Thanks again for watching another episode of Steve's Retro Loft. It's another box opening episode, and I've got one more left, so it'll be interesting to see what's in that box. I do have a suspicion there might be some Software Projects games like Frusto and Jet Set Willy, possibly Jet Set Willy 2, Manic Miner, probably a couple of versions of that. But anyway, back to today's episode. It's nice that Trashman loaded. It was a nice game. It would have been nice to have a box for that. There may be one in the other box of games I've yet to open. But until next time, and whenever that is, I'm not sure. But we'll see you soon, and thank you for watching again. Bye-bye.